Most buy-to-let mistakes don't look like mistakes at the time. They look affordable, they look profitable, and they look reasonable on paper. But over 5 or 10 years, small optimistic assumptions compound. In this video, I'll walk through the biggest mistakes new landlords make in the UK, using 2 realistic examples, and show you how those mistakes play out over time. To make this practical, let's compare 2 rental properties. Both cost £250,000. Both are typical UK buy-to-let houses, but they are structured differently, and that difference matters. Property A uses a 25% deposit of £62,500. The rent is £1,300 per month. The interest-only mortgage repayment is around £800. On paper, that leaves £500 per month before other costs. That looks strong. Property B uses a slightly larger deposit of £75,000. Rent is slightly lower at £1,250 per month. The mortgage payment is around £650. That leaves roughly £600 before costs. The headline yield on property A looks slightly better, but the monthly position on property B is stronger. The first mistake many new landlords make is chasing the highest yield percentage. Yield is calculated as annual rent divided by the purchase price. It's easy to compare and feels objective. But yield ignores maintenance, ignores void periods, ignores tenant turnover, and ignores tax. Higher yielding properties are often in areas with higher tenant churn, greater wear and tear, and more management effort. The percentage looks attractive, but the lived experience may not be. The second mistake is underestimating maintenance over time. Maintenance isn't just fixing the occasional tap. Over 10 years, you're likely to face boiler replacement, roof repairs, appliance replacements, redecoration costs between tenants. Even averaging £1,500 to £2,000 per year significantly reduces the real surplus. That £500 margin begins to narrow very quickly. A common assumption is continuous rent, but void periods are normal. Even one empty month per year reduces annual rent by over 8%. 2 months reduce it by more than 16%. On property A, a 2-month void could wipe out most of the apparent annual profit. Property B, with stronger margin, absorbs that shock more easily. Many new landlords calculate returns based on today's mortgage rate, but rates move. On a £187,500 mortgage, even a 1% increase materially affects annual costs. A property that felt comfortable at one rate can feel tight at another. Tight margins magnify this effect. Let's stress test both properties. Assume a 3-month void in year 2 and a 1% mortgage rate increase. Property A's margin becomes very thin, possibly requiring personal top-up. Property B still has breathing space. The difference is not dramatic in 1 year, but over several years it will compound. Over 10 years, small differences compound. Property A may experience more volatility. Property B may deliver steadier surplus. The landlord who avoids stress is more likely to stay invested long-term. And long-term ownership is where most of buy-to-let's benefits emerge. Another mistake is relying heavily on capital growth to justify tight cash flow. Property values can rise, but they can also stagnate for years. If your model only works with strong price appreciation, it's fragile. Emotional decision-making is another common trap. Estate agents may highlight best-case scenarios. Optimistic rent estimates feel reassuring, but conservative modelling protects you far more effective than optimism. Experienced landlords typically overestimate costs rather than underestimate them. Assume at least one void per year in your modelling. Stress test interest rates above the current levels and maintain a cash buffer. Prioritize resilience over headline returns. Before committing capital, ask yourself these questions. Number 1. Can this property survive 3 months without rent? Number 2. What happens if mortgage rates rise? Number 3. What is the realistic surplus after maintenance and tax? If those answers are uncomfortable, the deal may be tighter than it appears. Buy-to-let success is rarely about finding extraordinary deals. It's usually about avoiding predictable mistakes. Small, optimistic assumptions repeated over years create stress. Conservative planning creates stability. In buy-to-let, avoiding mistakes often matters more than chasing the highest return. That difference becomes very clear over time. This is the Practical Landlord.